and welcome to Mickey Art. My name is Michelle Edhouse, and today I am again attacking that Me challenge from Acrylic Pouring for Fun Facebook group, and that is the string pull or chain pull. And I'm choosing string today, and I'm actually going to do one of the basic string pulls that many of you have probably seen before, but I'm just practicing it because I would like to. I've got a big challenge coming up soon, using the string pull idea, and yeah, this is definitely, I want to get this right before I do it on the big one. So what we're going to do is we've got some white house paint here. It's been watered down with some Floetrol and water and a little bit of PVA glue to add some gluiness back into it, or that glue, adding gluiness. I found that the spring indoor-outdoor paint that I use from Bunnings, and I use it because it's really cheap, when you thin it down with Floetrol and water to the thickness that I need to be able to do this, and as you can see, it just keeps running and running and running, and it doesn't build up much on the surface. It's pretty much flat pretty quickly. And what I want to achieve with this is, and the glue, yeah, when you water it down that much, the glue is needed to add a bit more glue back in. Some gluiness, we will call it the gluiness. Now, when I've watched a few of the other videos on how to do these string pulls, what I think I'm doing wrong is I'm actually putting too much base paint down, and therefore the string is just like sinking down instead of sliding across the top. So I'm going to try doing less paint, but enough for the paint to, the colours to hang out and play. So I'm just gonna, what am I going to use? Great question. What am I going to use? I'm just going to use a palette knife, and just spread this around and just try and get a thin but evenish coat on it, because although the dents and dips look funky, it's not what I'm after. Palette knifing is, that's so funny. Have you ever been in the middle of doing something and realized that at some time in your life, either recently or a long time ago, you've gone, oh, I wish I could paint with the palette knife, or I wish I could do such and such. And then all of a sudden, several years later, without ever trying to learn how to do whatever it was you said you wished you knew how to do, suddenly you're doing it. I'm painting with a palette knife. Yes, it's not those funky trees that Rob Ross used to make with his palette knife, but I'm definitely painting with a palette knife. How cool is that? Hey, ask and you shall receive. Just I think I might use a paintbrush on the edges just to get the edges wet. I'm not really expecting any paint to dribble over the side, but I also don't want blank canvas without any paint whatsoever on it. This paint is a semi-gloss. For those of you in America, the equivalent is what you guys call latex house paint. We in New Zealand and Australia call it acrylic, water-based house paint. Definitely not oil-based. That would not be my Look, I'm making... Alright, let's do that part a different way. Let's bend it. That's better. How does it get better than this? Let's tilt it and see if it can get better. You know, when I use that question, how does it get any better than this? If you say it can't, you're stopping your awareness, stopping the universe, God, whoever it is that you receive information and guidance from being able to give you the information, the guidance, or whatever it is you're asking for. How does it get better than this? Is asking. You know that whole saying, ask and you shall receive? It's true. It's real. Alright. That's definitely smoother than it was. It's not perfect. We've got runs in it. But hey, this is a tester, a trial. I will make sure that the big one is nice and smooth. You know what I love about these little 8x10s is that they are postable. I've had quite a few of them go off around the world, and that's exciting for me. Just banging and just trying to get this to smooth out a bit. That's better. Alright, now somebody asked me the other day, why do you sometimes use pins underneath your paintings and sometimes you put pots? Well, there's usually two different reasons. One is the reason of I run out of pins and that tends to be a good indication to me that I haven't done any varnishing lately and they're still all in the paintings. But today, as you saw, I've still got a few pins, but sometimes the wood in these canvases is actually quite hard. Like it's pine, but where is it? There. See how you've got that dark line? That's actually quite a hard part of the wood, and the pins don't go through it very easily. So as you can see here, I've got several holes where I tried to find a place where I could put my pin and it just did not go in. And I was like, I give up. I am going to put pins under it. It's much easier. So and for those of you that haven't seen my tins before, they are just little metal food tins. These ones are flavored tuna, and I know some people who have cats and they use their cat food tins. Just as long as they are smooth sided, and I use a an edge seal cutter. Let me show you. So you've got a nice smooth edge on the tin, and it's cut the seal where the lid rolls over. It's cut through that, and so you've got a lid still that has kept paint fresh for me for weeks, because there's enough of a airtightness. But also none of this is sharp, so it's really easy. There you go. Quick story. Back to the job at hand. Dun, 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 dun. Right, so what I've done is I have cut 3 bits of string because I'm going to do 3 pulls on this small little canvas. And I've cut them roughly about twice as long as the canvas, okay? Because I'm going to be pulling them along the canvas and I want to have some space to ziggy-zaggy them, all right? And still have some hanging over the edge. Oops, we've got white. So next thing we need to do is create a dribble pile of paint to dip our string into. And I'm going to make this multicolored. Somebody posted on the, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was. My big apologies. But somebody posted into the Acrylic Pouring for Fun Facebook group event a beautiful picture of a multicolored string pull. And I was like, I want to do that. So you guys posting in this group, these groups, inspire us. It's so awesome to see what you guys create. And what else we can create. I love it. I love it. How much more can we contribute to each other? And I've probably got way too much paint, but that's okay. So I've got some blue, I've got some crimson red. Let's go for some medium yellow. In between. So it's kind of a bit, what would you call it? Primary colours. Kind of. Well, it's red, yellow and blue, so they are primary colours. It's just not the primary version of those colours. Alright, so what I'm going to do is lay these in one at a time. And if you see, I've folded it, but not quite perfectly in half. I've left a tail, and that's going to be my clean hand pull. And I'm going to lay that into my colours. Can you see that? And dab. I'm going to use a different finger for each colour. See if I can get it to stay reasonably clean in my colour coding. Eek. My yellow is disappearing into the red and blue already. Alright, so we have a very multicolored paint. So let's go back over to here. And I'm going to start in the center because that way I can balance the others out. Oh, sorry, my hand is in the way. It's wiggling too much. All right. That is way too wide. This is why you do practice ones, guys. This is definitely why you do practice ones. So I'm just going to, once again, drop that down. That's my blue finger. That's my yellow finger. That's my red finger. Yellow, blue, yellow. Just making sure that the paint is all the way over, so no matter what part of the string touches the painting, we will end up with now this one. I want it to go the other way. Whoops, it's still going the same way, isn't it? So the trick is to overlap when you lay it down, bring it back just like that. And just one more. Oops, don't want that big bit of crustiness. Now this is one of those ones that you might think, oh, I could do this with my small grandchildren. It's a little bit too precise, I think. It depends on what you're after as your result, I suppose. I wouldn't expect a small child to be able to do the precision required for this, but I have seen it done like on jeans and stuff like that, so that's quite a funky look. Bringing it down again, and again I want to go the opposite to this one, so that goes that way, so I need it to go that way, so it needs to come towards me and then around and around, eek, and around, and I might even do another, if the string will let me, another one just there. Okay, now the bit I want to be able to do is to pull all of them at the same time, and that requires a lot. I think well, it's quite cool, definitely funky. Might have to rewatch that and see what actually happened. I was so intent on pulling, I wasn't watching what was going on up here. I definitely got some air bubbles, and I know that there's some silicone in here. So let's see what happens when we torch it. You know what I think? I think if you did the end some multicolours and then came down and did the next two in green, you'd end up with a really fun looking real flower, like a flower at the top with the leaves. I don't think there's any silicone in the blue, looking at the way these cells are coming out. This is a butane torch, by the way. Just a little flame torch. Can you see the flame? And we're keeping the flame right away from the paint. We don't want to cook the paint. We just want to give it a little warming sensation, and that brings the silicone that was mixed into the paint, and only the yellow paint by the looks of this, although I did think that they all had paint in them. Oh no, if they came out of a pot like this, they would not have silicone in. So the yellow was the only one that had silicone in it. That's interesting. It's created some cool effects. Let me get you down and show you what I'm talking about. Okay. So start over here. So there's obviously some yellow in there that then popped the silicone up through the red. And I can tell that there was some yellow because there's a tint of green. Can you see the green hint on the side of the blue there? This is how I can tell that it's the yellow that's got the silicone in. Nothing in the blue. Yellow's going berserk, and then nothing in the red. It's so cool. I like this. This is just awesome. I think that is just the coolest bit of the whole painting, to be honest. Happy to be amazed by other parts too. Look at that. That's so cool. Look how the cells are. So pretty. Oh, and we've even got a bit of purple happening in that one where the blue and the red have mixed. And that's a very little amount of purple actually happened. Oh, look at that bleed. That looks cool. Oh, it looks like we got a chunk in there. I'm going to have to fish that out. Oh, and that looks like a wave. Check that out. Woohoo! Looks like a good break to surf. How's it get any better than that? Alright, so I think I'm going to have to play with what's left over there. Let me pop you back up on top and we will have a play. Alright, so while that is drying, I'm gonna come over here and have a play. I've got some white on this knife, so that's going to be fun. I'm gonna just move the string out of the way. This is what I've got this on actually is a piece of laminated, it's a laminated poster for a class that I did. So I made a poster for it, and then look at that. It's so much fun when you fold paint over itself. Look at all the colours. Let's zoom you in. I'm just gonna see if we get anything fun and funky first off, because the cool thing about using the cabochons and dipping into it, you can just dip and then rearrange it and dip again and dip again and dip again and dip dippity dip dippity dip dip diddy. So let me just grab some cabochons and we will have a dip fest. Okay, so if you have not observed me dipping cabochons before, I have a video linked in the description that talks a lot of detail about it. There's also